Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Corner with the Conn Man. And with me, I have a very special guest. He goes by the name of Donnell Alexander. How are you doing, my brother?
Look, man, I'm good. I had to represent. I had to wear my athletic gear. I know you are in the sports corner, so I had to show up. You know what I'm saying?
You know, D, I do have a sports show, and that's my thing. But I also have a multitude of interests as well as sports, also music. I think I sent you some things with my dad being a jazz guitar player. So
Yeah.
I go back a little bit with the music orientation as well. But D, I know people who are tuning in may not know a little about you.
Yeah.
So if you could do the viewers a favor, let them know a little bit about Don Alexander.
My name is Darnell Alexander. I'm from the old school. I've been around since the '90s doing R&B music professionally. I would say originally from Seattle, Washington. Hailing from the city, the PNW, the Pacific Northwest,
Hmm.
and my story goes back to '92 when I was with down with Sir Mix-a-Lot's crew, and we were on Seattle: The Dark Side. I had a couple singles on there. Uh, Very nice that his compilation got nominated for a Grammy. From there, went on to Second Nature. We were a four-man a cappella R&B group, doing shows with like Boyz II Men, Patti LaBelle, a lot of special people out there, Montel Jordan, Queen Latifah, and then, God, a lot of people now, they know me from social media all these years later, popping up on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook and YouTube for doing Luther Vandross covers.
And what made you think that you could sing?
Who told you you could do that? Right?
Right.
Man, it's funny because when you're a kid, you meet all these different kids as you're growing up, exploring the neighborhood and singing was one thing I figured out I could do. But before I could sing, I used to annoy, my classmates making different sounds and noises from like all the funny stuff I used to see on TV. And then it just turned into singing. And then, people like that a little bit more than making annoying sounds like, video game sounds and Donkey Kong and thing like that. So, yeah, so I figured out I could sing when I was maybe when I was say eighth or ninth grade.
That's incredible. Folks, I gotta let you know how I came to get to know Donnell. I always try to, get guests on my show, and I'm always looking. And I happened to scroll, and I saw him in I guess it was a setting, and he sung a cappella. And I saw that. I said, this man is incredible. And I went out to pursue, seeing if he would come on my show. And I've been following you ever since, and you just are amazing. If
Man, I
someone were
appreciate
to ask me, how would you describe Donnell? You know what I would say?
it. Tell me.
That, that. What is that?
What is that?
Undescribable.
Wow.
That's what I'm gonna tell you, my brother. You are undescribable. I can't give an adjective of how you are. Your voice, because I go back, Sam Cooke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the
Man,
classics.
you know what I mean? And I'm just honored to have you on my show.
Yeah,
So let the folks know what type of music you're really into and what you're involved with and
yeah.
who inspired you. And I'm here to give you your flowers. I talk too much anyway, so
That's
I'm here to
okay,
give you
man.
your flowers.
Yeah. Look, my first inspirations growing up were one of the covers that I just recently released was like O'Brien, right? Michael Jackson, um, all the people from back in the day, and then started getting into the real singers like Peebo Bryson, Jeffrey Osborne, Luther
Ooh,
Vandross. These people, and even the Isley Brothers, man, their voices are so smooth and rich, and that's what really attracted me to covering some of these artists. Is it's just the tone and the way it made you feel when you heard those songs back in the day. You know.
and I think what inspires you to be as great as you are.
Um, we talk about greatness. I always try to strive to be the best person I can be. And the best person I can be not only to myself but towards others. And that's always a challenge for all of us maintain our own sanity in this crazy world, but also at the same time, bring to the table something that people want to be around, and then on top of that, you're sharing your gifts with them too. So my inspirations just come from great people, watching how they move and operate and speak, how they carry themselves. And ever since I was a little boy, I've always taken little bits and pieces from people that I've admired, like Nat King Cole, and you'd see the black and white shows and how he carried himself and moved, and it was so elegant, so classy, and people like that, and like Luther Vandross, that really helped shape me as a person, but also as an artist.
Now you doing your covers of the great Luther Vandross.
Yeah,
It takes a lot of what to go and do a cover for Luther. And I swear, because you know me, I've been promoting you all over the place.
yeah,
Everybody knows me. So I said, who does sound like? And automatically it
yeah,
becomes Luther.
yeah.
So you have a very special gift. And I just don't know. I mean, I think you're going to be, I already know you're going to be world famous. And I'm honored to have you on my show.
Yeah.
Well, I got you now because I probably ain't gonna get you later on. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But
Look, man, I'll
you
be
know,
around.
you know, and the thing I respect about you even more so is that you're very humble. You are very humble. You're true to yourself, and I mean,
I got a lot of people around me that would have something to say if I was, if I stepped outside of that bag. You know what I'm saying? And but I always like to be the person that I'd want to meet. You know what I mean?
interesting. I like that. Interesting.
When
Okay.
I look in the mirror, I got to double check and make sure everything's right. But then at the same time, I got to make sure when I'm interacting with people that it's a pleasant experience. So that's really what I want to give people, not only through music, but just through my character as a person.
What or who are some of the people you have? You already mentioned a few of them.
Yeah.
Who would you like to perform with?
Oh man, I'd like to get on stage with. There's a few people like, I saw Usher putting quite a few people on stage. That would be fun. Tank and Tyrese. Some of these guys have
Ooh.
they have really great voices. Even October London. I always think about doing a Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye, back-to-back exchange with him. I just think there's some cool things to be done that I'm not seeing yet out there.
So let the viewers know, D. What do you have in store? What you got going on?
Man, right now I'm just really trying to focus on working on obviously being creative and trying to put out some good content for people to chomp on. But now I'm working on some more original material. So I had released Amazing a while ago here, and before that, What If. So I'm on the fast track to producing a nice little EP that people can just get all the songs in one. But I've got a few more hits to break out to people.
And you did a very. I was checking it out. Your Mother's Day special. That was phenomenal.
Man,
That
that
was
was fun.
phenomenal.
I always loved California. I went down there to get, the first day I got there, went to the beach to get black. I mean, I know I'm a black man, but, a little bit more caramel ain't gonna hurt nobody. So I got burnt that day, and so I stayed out of the sun after that, and then did the show the next day, and now I'm back home peeling. I got all these lights on me, but this don't zoom in, people. Don't be trying to like look for all the craziness. But how people, they go on Facebook and they're like, let me see what they got.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me see. But no, it was a really good experience. The fans are great. People just want to be entertained. They want some good music. They want to they want to leave with a good feeling in their heart and their soul, and that's really what I try to deliver to people.
Now you have some great people behind you. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Elva Mason. I have to
Yeah,
mention her because she played a big part in you coming on my show. So I got to give her a big shout out as well.
man, I
I
feel
want to
blessed
give
to have her, and I feel blessed to have her come along. I mean, there's just all the pieces are kind of falling into the puzzle. Ever since I went viral on TikTok, I've just been very methodical about how I move in the music industry now, as opposed to '95. But at the same time, I've just been very patient and letting God bring in the right people in my life to let things go where they're supposed to go.
Well, I think you're on the right track. I think you're going to be, like I said, you're going to be worldwide.
Yeah, man.
And
I just want to give people, I want to give people that good old feeling that we used to get when you turn on the FM radio and you hear like Teddy Pendergrass or some People Bryson or
Yes, yes.
Babyface, you know what I mean? That stuff come on and you're just like, damn, man, what is that?
And you know something,
We
D?
played it.
That's why I think I relate to you so much because that is the era I grew up in. All of them. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Let me,
The
you
OJs,
you can put the
Spinners,
record on repeat. OJs, the Spinners, you know what I mean? The Four Tops, all the classic stuff that made you feel
the
some type of
Manhattans.
Manhattans, you know what I'm saying? And man, I'm trying to tell you, um, we don't want to let go of that. We don't need to
No.
let go of that. So
No.
I feel like I'm going to try to put a spin on that with the current music, but still give that classic feel vocally, on the
Yes.
project.
And you know, besides the Tavares, the famous group Tavares, I know you know about them.
Yeah,
My famous group is the Whispers. You know what I mean? And you could
Whispers.
hear
Man,
the voices.
my
You can
mom used to
hear.
wear them records out. My mom wore those records out. The Whispers. I'm gonna have to dig in.
You
I'm gonna
know
have
what
to
I
dig
mean?
in there and see if there's something I could do because they had really romantic music. When I think about the Whispers, it's a lot of love right there.
Yes, exactly. I went to see them 4 times in person, and they never let me down. And you could hear
Yeah.
the all the voices, and you can hear. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. But there's one person that I'm gonna tell you about that you probably don't know. Maybe you should look up. There's a guy. Well, matter of fact, I'll keep it real. I was in college, and I went. One of my boys said, "Man, let's go check out this group." I said, "All right." It was called at a place called the Sugar Shack in Boston. I don't know if you ever heard of
Okay.
that. That
No,
was way back in the day. They said, check out this group called the Dynamic Superiors. You ever heard of them?
I have not.
So, Dynamic Superiors. There's a lead singer on there that I believe was the best singer in the world. Look him
Wow.
up, Dynamic Superiors. The
I'll look it
guy
up.
was, please do. You'll thank me later on. But like I said, going back, what you do is what I've been growing up with, and your voice and the way that you do your, I guess the way you can do your voice and how you bring it
Yeah.
up and down, and sideways and around. You know what I
Right.
mean? You remind me of a smooth operator, a smooth basketball player who works and he's smooth and still gets everything done.
Yeah.
But it shows no effort. But we all know it takes a lot of effort.
It does.
You
Right.
know what I mean? I'm gonna relate that to a basketball
Yep.
acronym. So you know what I mean? Is there anything that you really want to do that you have? I mean, besides being famous, excuse me, besides being famous, is there anything that you really wanted to do that you haven't done yet?
Oh yeah, I got a list.
I figure you did.
I want to, when I used to watch like the Essence Awards or like the Grammys and all that,
Oh,
I want to get out there and share it with everybody. I want to share this gift outside of social media, but on a larger platform where I could, really see how it impacts the masses, so to speak. Outside of, having notoriety for what I do, I want to really like test it on the main stage. I want to test it on a global scale. So I'm working diligently to get there. But that's really what I want to do is I want to share it in front of all the fans, all the people who appreciate really good music from all over the world.
now do you have a specific band you play with? Do you have an orchestra or?
I haven't even gotten to that level yet. I did play with a band when I was in Redondo Beach for Mother's Day.
Yes.
That was amazing. I love playing with a band because of the natural feel. They play off you, you play off them. But that will be on the list. I think ideally my show would consist of a band and background singers, so we could just really give them almost like that Luther Phil. He always had really good background singers. He had an amazing orchestra, literally, because you got
Right.
violins, you got
Right.
horns, you got guitars, and keyboards, and all this stuff. So um, I see that as the ultimate show for people, giving them truly a performance to remember.
Now, D, when you perform the great Luther,
Yeah.
have you had people who really knew him speak to you about your performance?
I've had people in the comments do that. I haven't, necessarily met people that were like, "Oh yeah, I've, done this and that with him." But I've had people message me that have played with him. Most recently, a guy who played drums He messaged me and was like, "I really appreciate what you're doing." Because for me, I don't know what the family feels like on that. I just want to represent
Right,
Luther in the best
right,
light. You know,
right,
I mean, he's not
right,
here
right.
anymore, but that doesn't mean we have to forget about what he did and how he did it. But it's really cool when those people come out and they're like, I appreciate what you're doing. It's good. It makes me feel like I'm honoring him properly.
Yeah, I'm not only honoring you, keeping his memory alive.
Yeah.
And when I hear you, I hear him. And we know how many hits he had over the years.
Man, I know. I'm a baritone. I'm not really his range. He was really more of a tenor. But right in that little sweet spot is where I like to sit. I just like to sit right in the middle where it's a little bit of baritone, a little bit of tenor, and just really, knock it out the park.
You know, before I ask you, to do a little singing for us,
Yeah.
um, is there anything that you want that maybe I didn't express that maybe I didn't ask, maybe I didn't, ask you that you wanted to get up there? Man, how come Mike didn't ask me that? I wanted to get that up, but I didn't.
I usually just go with the flow on these interviews, but I think we've covered quite a few bases. Obviously we talk about my history,
Right.
where I'm from, how I get down. I'm in Minneapolis now, um, and I just, I really just love collaborating with people like yourself and other artists, and um, I mean, you're doing your job.
Well, thank you so much. Now, enough about me. This is about you. I'm here to give you your flowers. If you don't mind,
Yeah.
could you give the viewers a little something, something?
Let me see what I can do. I got a little bit of extra verb here. My voice is a little shaky today, so I'm gonna
It's
see if I can do
okay.
something.
Uh, Folks, before we go into folks, you guys are in for a treat. Again, I want to thank you for coming on my show. You guys are going to be entertained.
Let's entertain some folks, right? One song would be I need to have you next to me in more ways than one, and I refuse to leave till I see the morning sun. The time is right. You hold me tight, and love's got me high. Yeah, yeah. Please tell me yes, and don't say no, 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 honey, not tonight. Move a little close to me, because you owe it to yourself, and I will selfishly take a little for myself, and it's because of you that love won't let me wait. Not another minute, yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Damn. How am
Appreciate
I
you
going
all,
to
and thank
talk
you for
after
coming
that?
through. I appreciate you coming by.
I can't. Oh,
I hope
damn.
it sounds okay in there. I didn't get a chance to really test the level to make sure it was coming through right.
See, you are something else. Uh, you know, you have a outstanding song that's out right now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, talk about that. Talk about the origination of the song and how it proceeded to have you sing it, and talk about how that process was.
Girl, 'cause you're so amazing. A once in a life type of girl. That song, man, I love it.
I love it. I
Um,
love it just as much as you, my brother.
um, yeah, I'm really blessed and honored to have people create music for me that fits my voice and that really fits, my character and what I believe in and love and relationships and all this. But yeah, I hear it. Is that you playing
Ah,
music?
you know, I'm ready. I got it right here.
Well, Dennis Bettis and Dennis Atkinson Jr. Dennis Bettis is responsible for voices like Charlie Wilson, Keith Sweat,
Oh.
Johnny Gill, right? And I was like, that's what I said. I was like, I get to do that. No, I feel really blessed. And Dennis Atkinson really is an orchestrator. He's done a lot of stuff like the Netflix, and he's done some stuff for the Super Bowl. He puts together the orchestration and all the instrumentation. And these two came together and made this song, and they wrote the lyrics and everything. And it's always funny because obviously I can say yes or no to a song, but I definitely said yes because I listened to what it had to say. And I was like, this fits me. It's always funny when I'm coming out with a song that always fits where I'm at in life. It's like now I'm at the point where I'm like, wouldn't love be amazing? If I were to love someone, this is how I would love them and how I would
Wow.
treat them and feel about them. And so that's really what I'm, someone wants to come in and disturb me. My little daughter, she just loves being in the studio, but not now, baby, not now. But, um, but yeah, I really, really appreciate it and feel very blessed that they came to me with that song. And we've got a couple more on the horizon to really like showcase more of my vocal ability and give people more of that classic sound.
Now, let's talk about your vocal ability, which is through the roof. What did you do, or what are you doing to perfect your vocal skills?
That's funny. Now, I, obviously practice makes perfect, but I'm always looking to expand and grow. So I might be working with someone to try to come up with a game plan to prepare myself to do this on a more consistent and regular basis because, the voice is like a muscle and I need to work it a little bit more frequently so that I can give everybody my best every time. That's really what I want to do. But I do, I do my teas and, I'm always drinking tea every night. I work out. I try to keep my cardio up, but not too much because I don't want to lose weight.
Right, right, right. You know
Um,
what? The reason why I brought that up, is because I think some people think you can just sing.
no, no.
No.
I gotta watch my diet. I can't like drink dairy on the day of a show, otherwise I'm gonna be all clogged up. I ain't gonna be able to deliver. No cheese, no dairy, none of that stuff. And like the day of, I'm always preparing. I'm like, okay, did I, I'm drinking this tea. I got the honey. I got, my little vocal mister. My nebulizer. I've been just adding on things as more shows come. I'm like, what else kind of got my throat drops. I mean, it's a preparation because you want to make sure once you get up on that stage that that's a flawless performance and you gave your best. You didn't shortchange anybody. You know what I mean? That's like athletes. They don't want to get on the court and be. I mean, these people paying, hundreds of dollars
Exactly.
for prime seats, thousands even, and if they don't practice or do the right things, weeks leading up to and day of the performance, we're gonna be let down, and we're gonna be like, man, give me my money back.
Right. And exactly. And like an athlete, if you don't work out and do your proper conditioning, you end up getting hurt.
You get hurt. Yep. And
And
and I
yeah,
don't want to
so you
ruin
know
my
what I mean?
voice,
So
right?
exactly.
You know, even at this stage, it's like I've been doing music for a long time, but um, I realize it's a gift that you have to work at, protect, and really just appreciate. So for me, I just always, I always give gratitude, for being able to do this, and I also reinforce that gratitude by taking care of myself. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Could you do me a favor and have your outstanding new release? Do you want? I could play it myself, or do
Yeah,
you want to?
yeah. I mean, let me see. I wonder if you could hear it through here. Let me see.
Yours is probably better than mine. You could
Okay.
probably hear it from your end
Let me
than
let me let me see what happens
mine.
when I bring the thing up here and see what it
All
do.
right.
But yeah, man. I'm excited for the new stuff coming. I mean, it's just
Oh, so
you
am
know,
I.
I just want people to have something amazing to refer to when they want to hear some good music.
Well, this is amazing.
All right, so let's see. I think I've got it here, and I am going to play it once I find. Where is it? There it is. Is this it? All right. Can you hear it?
I can hear it.
You do?
Is there anybody out there in love? Yeah. Could somebody please tell me why no one tries to stay in love anymore? It's like everyone has an excuse, but that would never be us, girl, 'cause you are just so amazing, a one-of-a-kind type of love. I swear you are sent from an angel. God knew my heart needed love, so he sent me you.
Yeah, here's the problem. I was playing you a version that I found that was like the pre-version, like the one that didn't get released.
Okay.
All right, we need all the orchestration. Everybody,
All right,
put your
here we
ears
go.
in. Stand
All
up.
right, here we go.
I don't care where you at. Put your hands together for Mister
There you go.
Alexander. Let's go.
Is there anybody out there in love? Yeah. Could somebody please tell me why no one tries to stay in love anymore? It's like everyone has an excuse, but that would never be us, girl, 'cause you are just so amazing, a one-of-a-kind type of love. I swear you are sent from an angel. God knew my heart needed love, so he sent me you. And that is why I look in your eyes. I can never get enough of your love. Oh no. And your mind is so amazing, so much smarter than I am. You're my educator, my motivator. Whoa, girl, you are just so amazing. Once in a lifetime of love. I swear you are sent from an angel. God knew my heart needed love, Tell 'em you're mine, my. And I just wanna keep it close. Your friends say we be doing the most.
You know, we got to ad lib all the way to the end of the song where the music just don't stop, and I'm ad libbing. What? Remember that? You remember that back in the day, man? They had them ad libs going forever. You'd be like, man, let me hold on to the last part. Yeah, man, that's my jam right there. So, oh man, some more to go. You know.
So how can people get a hold and check out you,
Yeah.
your releases,
Yeah.
whatever you're doing?
So, you can find me and all my social activity at TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Threads sometimes, and Facebook. Darnell Alexander Music, Darnell with one L, not to be confused with the brothers that got two L's. So yeah, it's Darnell Alexander Music, and you can download my music currently on Spotify Music, iTunes, and other streaming platforms such as Amazon and Apple Music.
Well, D, man, you know, I know you're a busy man, and I just want to, is there anything else? I'm here again to give you your flowers and let you know that how much I respect you. And I love what you do. And I love that you're keeping the old high R&B history alive. And that makes people of my generation so proud of you. And I hope you continue to do every damn thing you're doing. And I wish you nothing but the best of success for my brother.
I appreciate you. I just want to give another shout out. I got an event coming up June 21st, Juneteenth in Las Vegas at the Expo at World Market. We're going to be down there with Tweet and some other special guests. So be ready to party. Bring your kids, bring your family, bring everybody. We're just going to put on a good show and have a good time.
Well, D, again, thank you so very much. I know you're a busy man, so I will let you go. Thank you for coming on my show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. God bless you, my man. I'll be hitting you up soon.
All right, bro.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right. Thank you.